Hello friends, welcome to this video on MCQs based on introductory concepts and definition in thermodynamics. These are concept based MCQs. So let us explore. So this is the first MCQ. A dash dash is any region in space or a device or combination of devices containing a quantity of matter that is being studied. And the answer is thermodynamic system. Friends, we know that in thermodynamic, system is any region or space that is considered for study. It can be a single device or it can be a combination of devices. It can be solid, liquid or gas. System is separated from its surroundings with the help of a real or imaginary object called as boundary. System interacts with its surroundings through this boundary. It means the energy transfer from or to the system takes place through the boundary, or mass transfer to the system or from the system also takes place through the boundary of the system. The second MCQ is in dash dash approach, a certain quantity of matter is considered without considering the events occurring at molecular level. And the answer is macroscopic approach. Friends, in general, we know that all the objects are made up of molecules. When we study the properties like position, velocity, mass for every individual molecule, we call that approach as microscopic approach. We try to find out the velocity for every single molecule or position of every single molecule or mass of every single molecule, and from that we apply it for complete system. This approach is generally called as microscopic approach, but in macroscopic approach we do find out the values of properties like pressure, volume, temperature at larger scale, that is at the level of system itself. And when we calculate these properties, these properties are average values of the properties of molecules. For example, if we consider a container in which boiling water is placed, if we insert thermometer in it, then the temperature indicated by that thermometer will be the average temperature of all the molecules present in that container. This approach is called as macroscopic approach. The third MCQ is the dash dash is one in which matter and energy crosses the boundary of the system. And the answer is open system. Friends, here you can see three different objects are placed. In the first object, that is a cup in which a hot cup of tea is placed. In second, that hot cup of tea is been covered with a lid, while the third is a thermos flask. In this case, you can see the vapors of the tea are coming out of the cup and are dispersed in the atmosphere. If you keep that cup in this atmosphere for some time, then you'll observe that the temperature of the hot tea in this cup is reduced. It means that the mass in the form of vapor of tea are dispersed from this cup to the surroundings. At the same time, the energy in the form of heat is also leaving the system. Means both mass from the system and energy from the system are being transferred to its surroundings. So this is a good example of open system. Both mass and energy are crossing the boundary of the system. In this second case, when the lid is placed on the cup of tea, what happens is that the vapors of the tea cannot leave the system, but the energy in the form of heat will be able to cross the boundary of the system. Hence, after some time, you can observe that the temperature of the tea in the cup is reduced. But in this case, the important difference is that only energy can cross the boundary of the system. No mass can transfer the or crosses the boundary of the system. Hence, this is example of closed system. Friends, if you see this third example, here it is a thermos flask. In the thermos flask, when the lid is placed, either of mass or energy, they cannot cross the boundary of the system. Though with certain conditions apply, this thermos flask can be called as isolated system, because if hot tea is placed inside this particular thermos flask, it can be hot for certain period of time. The fourth MCQ is the properties which are independent of the mass in the system, they are called as dash dash, and the answer is intensive property. Friends, intensive properties are the properties which are independent of mass of the system. It means irrespective of the mass present in the system, the values of such properties will remain unchanged. For example, in case of density, if you take 1 kg of sugar or 1 kg of mercury or 1 kg of say oil, any object, okay, or if you take the same for the same object, if you take the 1 milligram of that sugar or 1 milligram of that mercury, what will happen? The density will same, it will never change. Same is the case with the temperature. If you take thousands of liters of water or 1 milliliter of water, the temperature or the boiling point will be the same, it will never change, it will be 100 degrees Celsius for water. Temperature is also the same thing, where same property, where the temperature of a single molecule or temperature of say thousands of molecules, they are irrespective of the mass present in the system, they will show you the same temperature. Same is the case with the concentration. But if you consider extensive properties, then extensive properties are the properties which are dependent of the mass of the system. It means if the mass of the system changes, then the values of such properties will change. For example, pressure, volume are such types of important properties, extensive property. Specific properties are the properties which are considered per unit mass. For example, volume. We know that volume is usually measured in meter cube, but we are having volume measured per unit mass. We call it as a specific volume. We are having enthalpy. We can calculate that specific enthalpy, specific entropy. Likewise, whenever we calculate any property per unit mass, we normally call it as a specific property. The next MCQ is the dash dash is defined as a series of state changes such that the final state is identical with the initial state. And the answer is thermodynamic cycle. Friends, here you can see these are the two diagrams. In this particular diagram, you can see this is the process starts from point 1 and it follows the path via A, reaches to the point 2 and come back to initial state via path C. So the path 1A to C1 constitutes one cycle. Here cycle starts at 1 and cycle ends at point 1. Here the properties possessed by this system is whatever the P1 is the pressure and V1 is the volume initially, and when it finishes at 1 again the values are identical or similar, that is P1 and V1. Such type of processes are called as cyclic processes. If you consider the second diagram here, the process starts from 1 and ends at 2, but it will never come back, it is not coming back to its initial position. Here the values of starting point, the values are P1 and V1, while the values of properties at point 2 are P2 and V2. Means the starting point, the properties values are different, and at end point the property values are different. So it is not a cyclic process, rather it is non-cyclic process. All these processes follow a certain specific succession, and that we normally call as path. Okay. uh, the next MCQ is based on the similar concept. We'll elaborate that. The question is, when a path is completely specified, the change of state is called, and the answer is process. can see in this diagram here, uh, in this particular diagram, you can see a container is there. In that container, a gas is placed. A piston is placed on which some weights are being put up. Initially, when all the weights are placed, the pressure is P1 and volume is V1. Pressure is maximum and the volume is minimum, P1 and V1. As we remove weights from this piston, what will happen? Pressure is being reduced gradually from P1 to P2, further P2 to P3 and P3 to P4. Accordingly, the volume is increased from V1 to V2, V2 to V3, V3 to V4 with respect to the concerned pressure. P1, V1, the property values are P1, V1, P2, V2, P3, V3 and P4, V4 for the respective points. So, this continuous change or series of change taking place in the values of properties. We call that particular succession in the change of state as a process. Here you can see four terms are there: state, process, property and cycle. Remember friends, properties are the measurable characteristics of the system. Important part, measurable. The properties means they must be measurable. We must quantify them. We must be able to measure them, properties. Here the pressure and volume are such properties which we can measure. When there is a change in the values of property, we say that there is a change of state in the value or change of state of the system. It means whenever there is a change of state, there is a change of property. But when there is a succession of change of state, we say that the process is happening. And if the process reaches to its initial and means if the initial and the final values are similar or identical, we call it as a cycle. It can be a cyclic process, and if the initial and the final values are not identical, then we call it as a non-cyclic process. So friends, the next question is, point functions can be represented as a dash dash in a thermodynamic plane, and the answer is point. Friends, uh, this is an important concept: point functions and path functions. Remember, point functions are always properties of the system, while path functions are always energies in transit. We will elaborate that this particular point in the next slide, but here we'll see that you can see that uh, on a PV plane, system starts from there are 2 points, 1 and 2, and this can be system can move from point 1 to point 2, or say process state 1 to state 2, that is appropriate, state 1 to state 2. It can follow the path A, path B, path C. Accordingly, the curve bounded will be 1 to A, then 2 B A1, 1 A 2B A1, or 1B 2B A1, or 1C 2B A1. If you see the area bounded by each of these curves, either this one or this one or this one, they are different, but the point 1 and point 2 are same. Note this: the area bounded by these curves, remember I am again telling, the area bounded by these curves 1A 2B A1 and corresponding these two curves, they are different, but the points 1 and the point 2, they are same. This is the important thing, that you should remember that these are the points, and that's why they are the properties of the system. They will not change with respect to the paths being followed. They are independent of the path followed, and hence they are called as point functions. The values depends upon its own position on the that particular PV plane. The question 7, yeah, it is again extension of the previous slide. You can see the question is, choose the correct statement of the following. If you see all these four statements, the correct answer is path functions are not the properties of the system. If you refer to the previous slide, you can see that point functions are the properties of the system, but path functions are not the properties of the system, but rather they are the energies in transit. We can see that when system moves from state 1 to state 2, either it can go or either it can follow path A, path B or path C, and accordingly you can see that the energy transactions for each of the path. If the path A is followed, then energy is different. For path B it is different. For path C it is different. It can be explained in another way. If you want someone want to move from Mumbai to Delhi, he can travel by airplane, it can travel, or he can travel by road or railway or by walking also. The though it will reach to its destination, will move from Mumbai, will reach to Delhi, endpoints will never change. But if depending upon the mode of transport, the expenses will different, the time required will be different. Same is the concept with this path function and point function, right? Let us see the next one. Here we have to choose the reversible processes from the given option. In the thermodynamics, the processes can be classified as reversible or irreversible processes. Reversible processes are the processes which can be brought back to its initial position by restoring all the changes in the system and at the same time all the changes in the surroundings also. So friends, reversible processes are quite theoretical or hypothetical one. But in fact, all the processes that we see around us are irreversible processes. And this irreversibility is because of two things, either because of the friction or because of the heat loss. So if you see these examples, the answer is obviously all of the given are the irreversible processes, and you can see that in either of the cases we cannot make everything, all the changes that are happened in the system or in the surroundings, we cannot bring back all the changes to its original position. For example, if we heat water with the help of a immersed heater, then we consume electrical energy for that purpose. During this process, some vapors are formed. And if reversible, if the reversibility happens, then what will happen to the system? It means that the water will be cooled down, and in this cooling process, the proportionate amount of electric current will be generated, and it will be supplied back into the system. At the same time, water vapors will be condensed again, and they will form water itself. So practically it is impossible. So we can see that in reality all the processes are irreversible. And this is the last question, the 10th one. A system is said to exist in a state of dash dash when no change in any macroscopic properties is registered if the system is isolated from the surroundings. And the answer is thermodynamic equilibrium. Means if for a system to be in a thermodynamic equilibrium, it must uh, be in thermal equilibrium, at the same time in mechanical equilibrium, at the same time in chemical equilibrium with its surroundings. Means if these three equilibriums are there together, then we can say that the system is in thermodynamic equilibrium with its surroundings. In thermal equilibrium, temperature gradient should not exist. In mechanical equilibrium, no force imbalance should exist. In chemical equilibrium, no phase change, no concentration difference, no composition difference should exist. So ideally we can say that if all these three equilibriums exists, then the system will be in thermodynamic equilibrium with its surroundings. So friends, thank you. Visit eprajna.com and learn and grow. Thank you.